Welcome to Chez, Bébé Children's Bed. For kids by kids. Go into the magical dreamland
where parents and children come together and use your imagination and see how ideas come to life.
Hi, my name is India. I'm the design director of Chez, Bébé, and I'm now 9, and it started when I was 4 years old. When I was 5 years old, my mom took me to come to China.
On our overseas trip, I took India, and all of her patterns that she made, she actually got a chance to see them and work with the women that we work with in the factory and see everything come to life. You know, it's very fun and also challenging working with a kid entrepreneur, but it's an important idea to show them what it takes to actually make something.
The misconception is that being a gentleman is just about being polite or courteous to women. In actuality, to be a true gentleman means that you have respect for your fellow man, so it encompasses men and women. Style is something that you evolve into. It's about your personality. It's about how you live your life.
Welcome to the next episode of the Gentleman of Style Show. I'm Baldwin.
And I'm Creech. And today I'm excited to have these two lovely ladies on our show. They've got a great story. I love what they're doing, and I'm excited for where it's going to go for them. So yeah, this is going to be it. This is going to be the first time we actually have a young adult, so to speak, on our show. So, you know, I have to call her a young adult because she's in business already. So,
well, yeah, she's a business owner. She's right. A business owner. So she's basically good. She's ahead of the game.
Welcome to the Gentleman of Style Show, Brandi and India McLean.
All right, good.
All right. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So let's start off. Give us a little bit about your background. Where are you from? And, you know, have you moved around, or are you still at home and you've been home the whole time? I know you've traveled a lot. So give us a little bit about the background.
Sure. Right now we're based in New Jersey. I grew up in Spanish Harlem, so I'm a New York City girl. Right. You know, India, she also has two brothers. You went to school in Harlem for a while. You want to tell a little bit about that?
And we also learned French.
Nice.
Yeah.
My daughter studied French in high school and everything. Why did you choose French?
When I was young, I studied the language, and I always felt that when you have another language, it really opens up your mind and your world. And just when I traveled and I studied in France after college for a summer, it really changed my life. And all of my children are named after countries. Do you want to tell your brothers' names?
Morocco and Cuba.
Seriously?
Nice.
For real? Are you serious?
Nice.
Morocco and Cuba.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have this kind of like adventurous, like international, like spirit about us, you know, with the family. So although we are, again, here based in New Jersey, we love to travel. And it's just a big part of what we do as a family. You like to travel too.
You know, I'm looking at you.
Why are you looking at me?
What about Cuba?
Well, Cuba, my oldest son, named after, you know, the country Cuba, he is a little bit more of a homebody, but
No, he's a home potato.
So yeah, with 3 kids, everyone has big different personalities, but like our value really is adventure and travel. So he's got to get with the program.
So it's India,
Mm-hmm.
Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
And Morocco.
and Morocco.
In Morocco, yes.
And what order is that? Who came first?
So Cuba came first, and my husband and I were really into Cuban culture, the food, the music. We traveled there, and so after that, India also is a place that I've traveled to and just loved everything about like the colors and.
I was waiting for that.
You were waiting for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to tell the names and then tell it after.
Okay, so I'm out of order a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just so much, I don't know, like colorful taste, adventure in India as well.
Good food.
And then Morocco is just like the most fascinating place I probably have ever been. So yeah.
Well, Morocco is on my list. I've never been to Morocco. I've always liked the culture and the ambiance when you go to Moroccan restaurants and things like that. So that's on my list, and definitely Paris and London are on my list. I haven't gotten there yet either. Those are actually on my list. So I applaud you for naming your kids. I have to ask this question. Now, was your husband on board with this, or was this something that you came up with?
He was totally on board. People ask the question all the time, were the children conceived in those countries? Because, we traveled a lot. And with my, oh gosh, okay.
Yeah, we are all ears.
When you said Morocco is on your, I just want to say that we went to Disney World and Epcot, and then it like has little countries,
So
it shows what they're like and has the foods.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we just had a little taste of Morocco just like a couple of weeks ago when we went to Disney for the first time.
Oh, okay.
So that was
what was that? You went through what is that called? Small World or something like that? The ride that you go through?
Yeah, Epcot. Epcot.
That was your first trip to Disney?
But the thing is, for the price for Disney as a family, like you could travel to other countries all over the world. So for me, it's never been a priority. But now that we're kind of, like a little bit more homebound and things like that,
And
it just
because of
COVID, we hadn't really gotten out for a long time. The kids have been studying at
being
home.
A home potato.
Since March. So it's been a little tough. So we did get a chance to get out a little bit the past couple of months for a little bit.
How was everything with COVID down at Disney? Was it, scarce, or was it still a lot of people, or how did that go?
Okay, what is your feedback?
So it was really strict because there were so many people, especially at the Disney part.
But what about
the Disney princesses? Because there were so many people there, and it had their mascot, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and what about masks? So
yeah, we had to wear masks the whole time, and then they were saying like if you took your mask off, you can't even take them off for pictures. If you took your mask off, you'd be kicked out. Yeah,
so they were really strict. There's like a patrol just for masks, to make sure like if you're eating, you're standing in place. The lines, they had, very strict measures. So it felt safe and protected there.
And there were these certain restaurants where you have to order from the Disney app.
Oh, so that was.
Oh, you don't go into the restaurant, order from the app, and they just bring it to you or something like that, or?
Yeah.
So you don't have to queue in line. Yeah.
That just reminds me, when we were there, we saw ducks inside the building.
Ducks inside the building?
Were they supposed to be in the building?
No, there was a whole family. No, there was literally a mama duck and then kids following it.
Were they wearing masks? Because that's not going to cut it. They need to wear some masks. You need to put the mask on. Shoot. We ain't playing with these ducks around here.
Well, did you have fun?
You guys enjoyed it. Sounds like you had a good time.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you have fun? I mean, with the strict restrictions, but were you still able to have fun?
For sure. I mean,
she went on a roller coaster that went straight down too many times.
Yeah, she's supposed to be a thrill, this thrill person. Because when you were literally, I think she was 4 years old and we were in Thailand and she was ziplining through the rainforest, and she's been.
I want to go again, but you
I know.
Oh.
But so she's very adventurous. But when it came to the roller coasters, all of a sudden,
because
you're like a little chicken.
My stomach hurts and I just eat. So you expect me to eat some sugary pretzels? Then the person that worked there said the mummy had small drops. I had I think I had a stomach ache after I went on the mummy because it had a lot of drops.
Yeah, so you're brave a little bit.
So in the Harry Potter ride,
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she might have did you a favor by not going on that ride, because if her stomach was hurting, there's no telling what you would have got after the end of that ride. So she may have done you a favor.
Very true.
Yeah.
And some parts of some of the rides were like virtual reality, like movies. Some were like the Harry Potter one, like you had a drop, but it wasn't even like a drop. You were just falling from something.
And this was all virtual?
Yeah, it's like there was a screen all around you.
But
you were on a roller coaster, but there's a screen everywhere.
And it was moving the whole time, and the screen was like coordinated with the movements. Wow. Yeah. I saw the last time we went there, we saw that Harry Potter ride and everything, but the line was so long and it was like a 2-hour wait or something like that. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
It was so popular.
I'm do it.
I haven't been there years, so that wasn't even there the last time I was there. So yeah, that's new for me. I keep saying to go back as an adult, but I haven't made it back yet.
You guys are hardcore. Y'all waited.
Yeah, and you know what? It wasn't the lines weren't that crazy. What? You excited?
Because our dad stayed in line while we went on some of the rides.
That's true.
Because he couldn't go on all of them, so he like waited in line. And then when we were ready for the ride, we picked what ride we were going on next. Like we planned it out, and then
we had a system.
Smart.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Smart.
That's good. That's good.
Very smart. So let's kind of move forward a little bit. We already know you guys are adventurous. You guys have been a ton of places. How did, for people that don't know, you came up with this thought that you wanted to do bedding, children's bedding. How did that concept come about?
Can I start, and then can I tell how you're involved? Because it kind of okay. So I really built my career in retail, doing product development and sourcing, and I work for big retailers, like the likes of Macy's, Ross Stores, and I happen to spend a lot of time in bedding, in home textiles, and working with private brands and traveling overseas to work with factories and kind of just coming up with seasonal assortments. But then I had children, and
they popped out of nowhere.
And they wanted a lot of things, such as bedding.
Stop. My turn. Bedding that was bad quality, and my mom said, "Why do you want this bedding? We can make it ourselves, and you can design it."
Right. So that was kind of India from a very young age. This is going back to when she was about 4 years old. She would watch the commercials. She had like her favorite Disney characters, which is funny that we're just talking about Disney a little while ago. And, she just wanted what was popular, in the television ads.
No.
Wasn't it?
I wanted whatever was expensive.
She wanted whatever was expensive, but this wasn't expensive bedding, because the stuff that you wanted was like like polyester quality, and something that was fast fashion. So it's not something that would really live in her room for a long time.
Yeah, because
So let me ask you this, India.
yeah.
What are your favorite characters around that time? What were your favorite characters that you were interested in?
I'm still interested in the same one, but from the second movie, Elsa and Anna, and then.
So Frozen.
Well, I never really liked Mickey or Minnie, never.
Okay.
So, from my perspective, being, a multicultural family, we're African American, dad's Italian, but just having characters that represented diversity, I really didn't necessarily want to have a room decorated with, Disney princesses.
And wasted stuff because when I got a new thing, I just forget about the old thing. I just move on and then say, this doesn't matter to me anymore. It's gone. I have something better and new.
Yeah, and so I figured, knowing the kind of personality that she has, which is also very similar to how I was as a child too, but if I could give her that sense of empowerment to say, what is it that you want? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite design? And we can create it, for you, because this is what I can do well. And we can make sure that it's really good quality. And it turned out to be such an exciting partnership because, not only did she choose, you want to talk about how you chose the design?
But I also just want to say, since I've gotten older, I'm still using the same bedding that we created, because nowadays I just care about sleeping well in a bed.
Okay.
That is a big thing. That for somebody to be that young and understand the quality of sleep, that is very big. Because most people, such as myself, you don't realize the value of sleep until you miss it when you get older and you have all these responsibilities and obligations. Just going to sleep is like the most wonderful thing. So for you to learn that early, you are really ahead of the game.
Good job, India.
I want to talk about the Paris design.
Yeah, talk about the Paris.
Go ahead, talk about it. Go ahead, roll into it.
So since I knew French, since I went to the French school back then, we picked the Eiffel Tower because Paris was a big French-speaking country. City or yeah. Okay, and then I liked purple, and then colors that go with it are white. And I drew stuff out, and then my mom and the people that work with her helped it come to life.
So
Yes. Can you say the name of the collection and then tell them?
Paris.
And then what does that mean?
What's the name of it?
Great in French.
J'aime Paris.
Jim Paquis.
It's in French.
And what does it mean?
It means I love Paris.
Okay, I got it. Jim Paquis. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. And even just back to your original question, the name of the company is Chez Bébé. And
it's
that
in French. It means, I forgot, but
yeah, so
because Chez in French has two meanings.
Right. So it's like a lot of restaurants will be like Chez and then a person's name. So it really means like the home of, the place of, and then Bébé is, it means baby, but it's also like a, also a word for children. So children's place is a meaning that we have for the company. And like I said, go ahead.
Some people might ask, why do Chez Bébé when you should do Bébé Chez if it's child's home?
But that's the way that the French language works, right?
Yeah.
Because the words kind of are in a different way than we would say them in English. But one of the things about when I would work, most of my work was done in China, India, some in Pakistan, but
all time China. So I just remember this time that we went to China to get the bedding. I went with my mom.
So you actually went to China to the manufacturer, and so she was a part of the whole process.
The whole process. I was just going to say before you go into that, because I think that's really interesting. when I would develop bedding, we would have, the factories would work with a lot of different brands, some, really low price points and some really high-end luxury. And a lot of things that were coming out of Europe were really good quality, really great embroidery, really like nice lasting style. So just having that sensibility was what I felt would be important for the brand. And it's something that I didn't see that much in the market. That was a need, obviously India. Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna set it up and I'm gonna talk about how when she had her idea, she did the drawings and the designs. Then we went on a trip and we did the development and the sourcing. So talk about like your experience when we were looking at the samples and you were traveling with the factory owners.
About with your open business partners?
Sure, I don't even know what story you're talking about, but go ahead.
I went to China, and then Mom's old business partners were also there. And then we went to a store in China. And then when I asked for something, my mom said no. And then the people said, and then Mom's old business partner said yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's true.
But then when we were at the place, for some reason, I just remember how I fell asleep on the, it was kind of like a couch, but and then there were so many people there.
How old was she then? How old was she then? How old was she then?
I think she was 4.
Wow.
She was 4 because she was going into kindergarten. She's going into kindergarten and she has a November birthday. So we went that summer of her starting kindergarten. And it's so interesting because at the time, like looking back, I can see how young she was and looking back at the pictures, but at the time she had always had this presence and this determination of knowing what she wants and having a way of getting it. Yeah. When I want something, I don't give up until I got it. Very determined, very determined. And the story of what she was saying, I mean, I had spoken to you guys before about how when you start looking at new products, so part of our process was developing the bedding and looking at our samples, but it was also looking at new ideas. And we would travel to these big, almost like mini malls, and people would sell a whole bunch of different things. And we're looking for textiles and bedding, and India would be looking at like toys and barrettes and everything that she saw. She's like, I want this, I want that. And I'm like, India, no, this is not what we're here for. But of course, the people that we were working with was like, no, it's okay, it's okay. So she did get a lot of cool stuff, gadgets. A lot of gizmos and gadgets. That's right.
That's how you say gadgets.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
So India, you were 4, but what do you remember about being in China besides getting a bunch of stuff? Like, what do you remember about the culture of China?
So there was this place that made clothes for you. And then I know China did not have COVID back then.
No.
We didn't have to wear masks. I didn't even know what a mask was. I thought it was just for acting.
Do you remember anything about the food? Because you're pretty adventurous with food.
Oh, I got some bubble tea.
Bubble tea?
Because definitely it was there, even though I don't remember it, because when we went to the China place, it was there. So.
And you learned some words, Sophia. We actually stayed a couple of nights with someone that I used to work with. And then when we went to other cities, we stayed in hotels of like the factory owners and things like that. But we did do you remember like the hot pot and some of the dumplings that you ate?
I like dumplings, but I didn't eat. The thing is, people call me weird because I don't even really eat the dumpling. So I usually have soup dumplings. I'm a vegetarian. So I literally open the dumpling, take out the meat, attempt my best to drink the soup, and then I eat the outside.
That is different. I will say, I'm not gonna say that's weird at all. That's just people like what they like. So you know what you want, you know how to eat it. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. But it's amazing that you've had experiences in business that most people in their 30s haven't had yet. So you are like light years ahead of the curve in the game, and the fact that you're determined, that's even going to be like, I don't know if you're the next Oprah or whatever, in what genre you'll be that in, but I know at some point I'll be old and still trying to reminisce about what my life was like. And I'm like, I remember that girl right there. And I have my cane and I'm like, I know her. So, exactly.
Yeah. And then that just reminds me, for Christmas, it's something that helps me draw better. It's like an app that's literally on a device.
So we've kind of upgraded from like the colored pencils to digital design and drawing.
Yeah, so how'd you guys come up with the designs? Like, you were talking about that a little bit, she was drawing, and how did that come about?
So you want to go?
Yeah, so there are some words on the Jempahi. We came up with that design. I think that was the first design. We came up with that design because, like, as I said, I went to a French school. And then my favorite color was purple, even though back then I didn't despise pink as much as I do now.
You despise pink?
I didn't despise it as much back then, but now I despise it 100%.
But what we would do, so India would, draw some patterns and some ideas. We knew it was purple. We would take inspiration from things, like clothing, stationery, and just kind of put patterns together, and then just go through and, just kind of just put it together, right? And then get a graphic representation of these ideas. So we had like some stars. We wanted, some metallic, silver, some embroidery and stitching. And then we worked with our, production team over at the factory to interpret these ideas into a digital framework so
And
that
then we get
they
them
can be
from
developed.
boxes.
And they came in boxes.
It's
had
such a perfect way to send bedding. Boxes.
Unboxing, unwrapping, right?
So you guys have, since you guys are in business together, what is that like family-wise? Because it's normally you two together doing what you do. How's that for your husband and your son? How does that work?
So we have a robot collection, and then my brothers do that because
So they're in business doing something totally different.
they take pictures.
Yeah, so I mean, we incorporate them. So in terms of the bedding side, India's saying like the Paris collection.
I'm almost done.
Okay.
And there are some collections for girls and then some collection for boys. And then my brothers were the ones that did the robot, and we got to fill the background. We used to have like one bed before, like one bed and then another bed. And then like the bed would have like shelves, and then we put robot stuff on it, like the bedding stuff, like the lily pads and the wet bag.
Oh, so that's another part too. So just in terms of like how it all comes together. So the children are all part of the inspiration. India's a little bit more involved because she's really into design, but she also thinks about her brothers. We get their opinions about what it is that they like. And then my husband is super technical. So he helps out a lot with like the logistics. And while I'm always this creative dreamer, he'll kind of help put like plans into action and say like, okay, does this make sense? Is this practical? So he helps out with that. Yeah, I would say also in terms of, just the role that everybody plays. Even my mother, who lives with us too, helps out sometimes with like packing orders. It's really a team effort from that perspective, which is a house.
It's only the people that live in the house that are doing all this stuff mostly, except my friends sometimes help.
Even her friends. We actually are launching a design contest because
no, let me talk. Let me say this.
Okay.
It's about kids. I should be the one saying
we're for kids by kids, if we didn't mention that before.
So we're having a design contest for people all around the country to draw a design, then enter it in, and then me and mom are going to pick which one we're going to turn into bedding.
Nice.
Oh, okay. That sounds nice. That sounds nice. That's really nice and everything. That can get people involved and get people involved in your brand and everything, and give you some awareness and give you exposure and everything. That's a good idea.
Yeah, we want to kind of
And
open
it's
it up
free.
now. It's free to enter. We want to open it up now for other children. And also, I believe the experience that India's had to see like this idea, have it come to life, see it being sold, see like other people buying it, you know, showing that process and behind the scenes is going to be exciting for us to.
I just realized
to
we have
do.
a world map behind
We
us.
do have a
and we
world map behind
pillars
us.
facing too far away for me to grab.
So what's the age group that you're looking for the contest?
So it'll be from, do you remember?
No, it will be from 0-year-old to
Okay.
20-year-old.
So it'll be from 4 to 12.
That's not fair. You should make
is what
it
we're targeting.
4 to 19
because
because 19-year-olds draw.
So we're more focused right now on the ages of, you know, we're evolving because India again started when she was about 4. She's like she just turned 10.
I didn't just turn 10.
She turned 10 a couple months ago. She, you know, so she's like, I have preteens now. So it's a little bit different. When we first started,
No,
you know,
one of us are preteens.
Well, it's kind of preteen. And then I have an 8-year-old as well. So he's not a preteen quite yet. But one of our core products is a bedwetting potty training product as well. And that was also a big need.
So me and my mom, we were looking because when I was younger, I used to wet the bed a lot. And we were looking for something, but then there were just those hospital pads. So me and my mom created something. So what you have to do is wake up, take a bath, and then if you want to take a bath, and then remove the sheet from the bed, and then get a new one.
The pad. So essentially the pad goes over your sheet. So a child would lay on top of it.
And then
they're in like
your bed, and then you won't have to change the whole sheet.
So they're in fun colors and print. So it's not embarrassing. If you have friends over, it looks just like any other bedding and it's comfortable. If you have an accident, you just take the pad off. You can wash it. The sheets are dry. So you don't have to worry about that. And a child, even as young as 3 years old, can take the pad off themselves and feel kind of independent. So it's also something that helps to build confidence.
And
so it doesn't soak through the sheet or anything like that?
Exactly, it's waterproof. So there's like a 3-layer process so that, you know, it can hold up to I don't know, somewhere.
But usually if you go, you wake up, but if you don't remove it, if you go again in the night, it will probably soak.
The pad will soak, but the sheets will never soak. So the sheets will always stay dry. So that's like the beauty of it.
So if you have friends over, you could get like an identical one. So then if they're like having a sleepover on the floor, then you're up on the bed. If you accidentally wet the bed, you can just swap it out.
Exactly.
They would never know.
Exactly.
And then pretend that nothing happened there. It was like
and then if all y'all want to get sleep in the same bed, if all y'all fall asleep in the same bed, and all of y'all pee at the same time, then y'all can just look at each other and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because you know it works really well.
There you go. That's definitely a different angle. And I never really heard this perspective, but I mean, these are kind of practical problems, you know, and it just gives a voice to the idea that we think about like the child, you know, when we're developing the product and what really works for them. So, so I think I was just saying that this is their show. So we're going to let them tell us, you know, how they want to do it, but you want to talk about the wet bags. So we also have
my favorite.
Go ahead. Tell us about the wet bag. I want to hear about the wet bag.
Because if you like swimming, I like the wet bags because so the first part, I think it's the dry part. And then there's another a zipper, and then it's where you put your wet bathing suit. And then there's a third, and some people could use it for diapers. Like if you're out and then your child
has an accident, right?
In
So
your,
instead
in the
of
diaper.
so what do people normally do, right? So if you're going swimming or in a water park or something like that, and you have like wet clothes, and you usually people put them in a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, so they don't get everything else wet. So our wet bags are, like bags with nice designs, and they're completely waterproof. So after you go swimming, the kid goes to camp, or you have like young toddlers who are potty trained and they have accidents and you have wet and dirty clothes. There's an open compartment that's the wet part, and that it seals everything so it doesn't leak. And then you have another compartment that's dry where you can put an extra change of clothes. So it's really convenient.
And if a bear attacks you, that's like you get scared by a fake bear. And then if you have a spare pants, you could just put them on.
Okay, so if you get scared out of your pants, you can have an extra set. Is that the
Yeah.
other benefit?
Yeah.
Okay, different angle.
Yeah, we always want to see a different.
That's actually a good idea though, because like when my kids were growing up, we would be out and they stuff happens and everything. They may have an accident or whatever, and you always be like, oh, I need a plastic bag, something to put these wet clothes in, to so I can put them in the bag, so we can we can get them back home, or put them in the purse, or put them in whatever we have there to keep them separated. So what your product does, it actually eliminates the need when you're in an emergency or something happens like that, in order to store those wet garments on in a particular compartment that's already there, and you don't have to worry about that. You have a side for the dry, you have a side for the wet on there, and that works perfectly. That's actually a good solution.
Yeah, and even as a parent, when you're dealing with like all the mess and
that's just not all the parts. There's a third part. You forgot.
There's a third. Oh, the
those
handle.
There's like another part for the goggles or something. If you have goggles, you could put that.
Goggles.
Yeah.
Swim goggles.
Goggles to swim.
Yeah.
See underwater.
Okay. Oh, you talking about it has extra storage compartment that you could use if you want to carry like cookies or candy or something like that, or goggles,
if you
want to throw a spear.
If you want to stick some candy into the water park or something.
Right. I got you.
Or, even adults usually like, if you're traveling and you have hair products, you don't want them to leak. So they serve a lot of different purposes, but the idea is that you can eliminate plastics really, and just have something that's reusable. And also you don't feel like a mess. As a parent, oftentimes you're dealing with such a mess. So to be able to carry something that feels a little bit more stylish and, it kind of elevates your experience.
Right.
That is a wonderful
I like
idea, because when you think about it that way, just even in traveling, whether you're a parent or not, you made a good point. Because if you're going, if you're taking a trip or something like that, and you've got, hair supplies, or you got stuff for, colognes or whatever it is, and if they tend to spill, or the top comes off and things get wet, or it gives you that, it gives you that mindset where, it gives you that freedom mindset that you don't have to worry about that. So that's really, really a good product.
Actually that bag, what you're telling me now, that bag has another use of it. We're talking about the beginning years of life. That bag has usage for the ending years of life too, the elderly. Have you guys explored that as far as marketing to the mature? That when we go back to those diapers and stuff, you thought about that?
I've thought about it, and I think
you should add a dryer to it.
Well, yeah, the lily pad is what it's called, the product that keeps the sheets dry. And the idea of like incontinence, as you get into the older ages, like that's important. And people just don't want to feel like they have to lay on something. If this is going to be a part of what they, a part of their functional life, why not make it comfortable, right? So that's definitely something that works. And even for women, going through that time of the month as well, being able to protect the sheets. So there's definitely like uses that we're thinking about expanding into for that product line. That
absolutely. Yeah, because when you were speaking about it just now, you and India, you guys were elaborating on it. I was like, has some multiple. It has other uses too. That I think you guys probably can explore on that. But I believe you guys know where you're going and you're exploring it the right way. I wouldn't. I mean, personally, I wouldn't limit it. Anything that you can do with it and everything. I mean, it can even go into the pet range. To be honest with you, now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, there's like you thought about it.
Well, no, I love the way that your mind works, you know, like.
And the lily pad can also be used for a dog pad.
Well, that's what. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. There's like a few different implications that you can go with that and everything. I'm thinking here, and my mind is like doing like this right now. There's a lot of things that you can branch up, but I'm not gonna hold it up and everything because I don't want to. I know we got other stuff to talk about, but moving right along.
So what do you guys, I mean, now that you're doing this and like you said, your products sound wonderful. What's the next thing that you guys, have you got something in development or something you guys are thinking about, kind of, another little field you're trying to branch into?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the most exciting thing that we have going on this quarter is a design contest where we'll be able to add more themes, right? Because right now it's pretty much been like our Paris collection, our robot collection. We do have an exciting event business that is sleepover tents where we set up parties. It's called My Sleepover Party. We set up parties with these sleepover tents, air mattresses, decor, and pillows. And that's been a real big hit, especially during this time where people aren't doing parties in the same big way. So you have like an intimate thing with like a couple of close friends and you really glam it out. So going into the retail side of that, especially during this time too, people want to have like just more exciting, fun things in the house. So those like play tents have been pretty popular.
They're for like, if you have a birthday party or a party for something, you can get tents for your friends and you to sleep over.
Yo, check this out. No, I ain't gonna say it. Go ahead. I don't want to hold anything. I just thought about something else you could probably do.
Tell us. We want to hear
it. Yo, check it. Have you ever thought about like, from a novelty? It's not even a novelty standpoint, but you know how you have onesies and stuff, and you have like the little mini jumpers and everything. Instead of them having to be like cloned in like okay, say you got a poop situation kind of under control and everything, but the urine situation is still kind of a little issue and everything. Instead of them wearing a diaper around, they have a little jumpsuit or whatever, that they can. It's like an overall, and you just get in that, and they can be doing whatever during the day and everything like that, but. If they have an accident, they can go right inside the suit, and you get home or something, you can just grab another one out the bag that you already have.
Just kind of like taking that waterproof aspect and adding it like functionally to clothes. So the
functional garment, and then you just throw the garment on them and you put that out in the bag. You throw it in the wash when you get home and everything. So it eliminates two things. It eliminates diapers and all of that type of stuff in order having that extra component, and it cures the need to keep extra clothing around, at the same. You see what I'm saying?
No, that's a thought. That's a thought. And the whole idea about diapers, which is what makes the pad great and also makes using something that's cloth and reusable, is that the motivation for a child to learn how to train is diminished when they can just go in their like diaper and the diaper holds everything. So that is a great transitional part. So you still kind of feel it, but it enables you to like keep everything clean and still be environmentally friendly because it's washable. So
right.
Yeah.
And you can come up with like some type of process around that. You can do like a video series or something, to motivate them, to keep them on a positive track and not limit them one way or the other and everything, and market it all together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that. So I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm over here. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I keep cutting you off.
No, but it reminds me of, if you're like, for the lily pad, if you're like a baby, then your other baby friend is sleeping over, then you want to impress them. like that you don't have a diaper on.
That is true.
Then
Exactly. See, that's the perfect scenario. The perfect scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. See, that's why me and India get along. That's why we getting along right now. See, we're working together.
Brainstorming session. Yeah, I mean, that's how all the like fun ideas come. And I would have to say that like the rate at which I think of new things, or we think of new things, comes way quicker than what we've been able to implement. But this year for us is exciting because we have at least got the traction on the current products that we do have, and then building the audience by really inviting more people in to help with the development. Just even like these conversations, thinking of new ideas, it validates the market, what people are looking for, you know, so that it kind of helps us launch new things quicker and test them.
Right, exactly. I digress. Preach. I know you got some more questions to go into.
Oh man, hey, I mean, you had some good ideas. So I mean, you sharing the good ideas with them, and maybe one day you'll be walking in the store or something like, oh, there's a jumpsuit.
That's right. I'm gonna put the full bodysuit on. Shoot. I'm gonna go into Walmart and I'll be like, oh, that joint's kind of tight and everything. I'm gonna get it. I'm wear the full bodysuit.
We'll have to make sure it's styled out, right? Because we know how you guys roll.
That's another idea. I'm gonna go into Walmart, right? I'm gonna be at the beach, and I'm gonna get out of the water and everything, right? And I don't have nothing to really dry off on, but I got that daggone full bodysuit. I just put the daggone full bodysuit, the product on and everything. Now I'm in that joint, I'm straight. It's so absorbent. It takes all the moisture and everything away from me. It takes the salt off my skin and everything. That's not next level.
And that's on another level.
Look, that's next level. Be careful who you share these things to, because he's like a madman. You'll see him walking around in that 24/7. Like, hey man, you ever gonna take that off?
Nah, I ain't never taking it off.
I'm
sleeping in it.
Nah. So, India, you're at that age. You're 10 years old, so you got some time. But I mean, you're already in business. Is there something else you want to do besides business when you get to that next level? Go to college?
Well, then I actually have 2 businesses. I also sell ices.
Oh, really?
I have.
You sell what?
Ices.
Ices.
Like ices, the flavored.
Explain it a little bit. You want to explain it a little bit?
I have a whole ice cart. I want to become an ice cream seller, but my mom said I don't know how to drive.
When she was little, another one of her big ideas was that she wanted to be like an ice cream seller when she got older. And I said to her, I remember we were sitting in the car one day and I said, oh, that's wonderful, sure. But you have to make sure that you have the best ice cream and everybody's going to want it, just kind of like inspiring this entrepreneurial mindset. And so like month after month after month, she's like, okay, so when am I getting my ice cream truck? Again, she's 4 years old and I'm like, we're not getting you an ice cream truck. But then I thought, I've kind of got her excited about this thing. We have to try to figure out how we can make something of it. And so that summer we did like a whole like Indiegogo campaign for raising money for her to get an Italian ice cart. And then she got it wrapped with her name. It's like India's Italian Ices. And she would do events over the summer, events at her school where she had the icy cart and she was selling ices, children's museums, things over the summer. So she's, been doing kind of business stuff for a while. So
impressive.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's impressive. Like really impressive. I think the first job I ever had, I might have been 12 or 13. That's when I started the whole paperboy thing. So I didn't have the whole entrepreneurial spirit. I wanted to play sports. I wanted to, I was all over the place with, just doing different things. But that's a very good space to be in at that age where you're already learning to have your own, not worry about the whole workforce, That's great too, nothing wrong with that. But if you can create your own workforce, then that's the best thing in the world. So you are, like I said, you are light years ahead of many, many people out there that are adults and, paying bills and all those great things. You're already with that mindset, you will definitely go far.
Well, the thing is, like, for children, and we, oftentimes, even as adults, we have these big ideas, with children more so, because they're not at the point where somebody has told them that's not reasonable, that's not possible. They think of all of these, like, big ideas, and they are so passionate about them. So my thought is, you encourage it and just see how far it goes, how much that, they can stay interested in it, and how it can connect to some other skill set that you want them to learn. For example, with the icy cart, India didn't really like math that much, but she likes buying things. So counting her money, like, that became important.
So I told my mom I don't need to go to school anymore, because
oh boy,
the only math that I need right now is adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. I don't need any of those fractions or decimals, because I'm not going to use them. I don't need them. Like,
I thought the same thing. Trust me, business will teach you a little bit different.
And the powers, I don't need those. I'm not going to use the powers of 10 with anything.
Well, you want to 10x your business. I mean, that's one thing that you'd want to use it for.
Yeah, but I'm not going to use the powers of 10. If I'm counting some money, I'm not going to use the powers of 10 to count money. I'm usually just gonna, like, get...
Morocco, you have to turn.
I'm usually just gonna, like, use adding to get it.
Well, when you add, your money goes slower.
I don't care.
I'm about to say, India.
Or twos. Or
you're gonna have so much money, you're not gonna be able to add it together.
Well, then I'll use my
Trust me,
fives.
you'll be using that multiplication. You'll be using it. Trust me. You can't add when you got so much money. You can't add anymore. You way past that.
Yep.
It won't work.
And you're gonna want to know your percentages, because
that's right.
When that money comes in, you're going to know what percentage is going where, what percentage is coming in, what percentage you have to pay to the government.
Exactly.
You want to know all that stuff. Look, I'm all for the entrepreneur. Go out there, make your money, get your business, but make sure you're educated with it. Because the one thing about having business, if you're not understanding how your business works and how your money is working for you, or where your money is going, it's a long day, each and every day.
And I'll tell you a secret.
Yeah, you listening?
Wait.
You ready?
I'm not listening.
You ready? Here it comes. It feels better to multiply than to add. It feels better.
Let that sink.
Multiplying took too long to learn.
Better. Trust me. Literally. It feels better. It feels better to multiply than to add. Trust me, it feels much better.
No, so I learned. So most of my friends said, since I transferred schools, my friends said that they learned how to multiply all the way in 2nd grade. But me, since I was in the French school, I started learning multiplication in 3rd grade. But then we played this game about multiplying. Like, it was very, for some reason, tense for me. Like, we throw a ball at each other, and then the teacher would give you a problem, then you had to answer, and I'm like, I want to win.
The competition piece.
Because the teacher gave out prizes, and I'm like,
I want to win. I'll tell you this. The United States is mostly behind when it comes to mathematics and stuff like that. Most of the world is on the metric system and everything, and we're not. And everything. So when you studying in the French schools and learning the way that most of the world does it and everything, it actually puts you ahead of the game.
Yeah, when she was studying in the French school, she was learning from kindergarten through 2nd grade. They learned 80% in French, 20% in English, and then
no, Mom, that's not how it went. So it was like 70 in French, but then 30 in math. We mostly, like, the only part that
you didn't do a lot of math. Yeah.
No, I said math. The only point in time that we ever did ELA was in math class. Before that, we used to write out like a paragraph or something of like a topic every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different system because the idea for the fluency, they build it when they're younger. And then when they get to like the older grades, they start, breaking it out. But when you just have the time to learn the language, you don't have as much time on the English, but you also speak English at home. So it's, different type of
It kind of
education.
affected my spelling because when we stopped learning spelling was in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
No, 2nd grade, because in 2nd grade we stopped learning spelling. So then I'd know what I'm thinking in my head, but I couldn't just put out how I wanted it to be spelled. So
and then you have the other language. It'll help you when you start learning more vocabulary. You'll have the root words that you'll recognize in French. You'll learn them more in English.
Oh, that just reminds me, like
yeah, because what happened, you'll get, like your mom just said, you'll get to the point to whereas it's a little bit difficult now because you're thinking about this and then you're trying to coordinate it with that, but you're going to get to the point to where it's all going to do like this. It's going to do just like that, and you're going to be able to the function switch and do things like this and everything. People won't be able to keep up because your mind will be functioning on like levels, and you'll be able to move and do things differently. You'll be like this and moving like this, and it'll just be easy. You won't even think about it. It'll be second nature to you.
And then that just reminds me, there's this French movie called Kirikou. I understand every single word, but it's hard. But it's hard to sometimes say it out loud. But just in my mind, I know what it's saying. But then when I try to say it out loud, it's just like.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. You're gonna be just fine. Just keep being diligent and focusing and doing the things that you need to do, and it'll all meld together. Don't worry about it. It'll work. You'll be fine.
So let everybody know first of all, let everybody know what your site is so that they can go and look at all these great products, and then let everybody know about the contest and where they can go and enter the contest.
Thank you. Yeah, so you can find us on the web at chezbebeny.com, and that is CHEZBE.
No, I think there's a parenthesis on the B.
No. So it's CHEZBEBENY.com. And that's where our website is. On February 14th, our contest will go live on Valentine's Day, and it'll go through the first week of March. So stay tuned for that. And we're
I feel like you should do it the day before Valentine's, or after, or a few days after, because it's like on Valentine's Day, nobody is going to be ready. They're just going to be asking out their Valentine. They're not going to be focusing on the design. This is what they're going to be doing. Will you be my Valentine? busy confessing. They won't realize it launched today.
Okay, so we're gonna do some preview activities. So if you also find us on Instagram, you'll see the build up to it. And we just felt, I guess maybe India wasn't exactly on board. I should have probably consulted with her for this, but I just thought that Valentine's Day for children, kind of having something like this would be exciting. So let me just give them our Instagram.
But on Valentine's Day, little kids, this is what they're going to be doing. So the dad gives the mother some chocolates. While the mother's not looking, the child will be eating all the mother's chocolates.
So she's a riot. So on social media, really funny and, exciting. And but on social media, we're Chez Bébé, CHEZBEBE.NY. And over, the course of Black History Month and Women's History Month, India will be, reading some of her favorite empowering books, some poems. So we really just want to inspire families, really. It's kind of like the heart of what we do as well. So we're so excited. I'm
excited too. Me too.
I am too.
To be with you guys.
Yep, exactly. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens and how you guys progress. And I'm definitely going to be tuning in on IG to see what Miss India is going to do next. Check out some of her readings. So I'm definitely excited for you guys. I think you have a great culture within your household with everything you're doing and everybody interacting and being a part of everything. And I think we miss out on that a lot of times as families because we're all trying to do different things. But I like the way you guys have pulled it together. And the fact that you guys travel a lot is absolutely wonderful. So they get exposed to different cultures. They learn new things. They know how to deal with new people. So this is, I mean, this is, something that, it's kind of like a blueprint that some people should really follow in terms of just really being together as a family.
Hey, before you jump off, I heard you say something to Morocco just now. Is Morocco and Cuba, are they in there?
Yeah, Morocco. Do you want to see them?
I want all of them in the frame real quick. I want to
Hey,
see
Morocco.
Morocco, come here, I'll give you Robux.
That's how you get them to do what you want to do.
Cuba.
Morocco! Morocco, come here! Come here!
You get a chance to be on the call too, Morocco. Can you come? We want to see you.
Who are you talking with?
Come.
Come!
I was probably asking for too much. My fault, my bad.
He's like, I don't know what's going on. He wants to understand what's going on.
Why?
Ah,
That Morocco?
So this is Morocco.
hey, Morocco.
Where's Cuba at?
Where's Cuba?
He's on the phone. Should I get him?
You want to go grab him? Go grab him really quick.
Get Cuba. I want to see all
So
of
he's
them.
like, he's like, into this kind of.
So he has a whole monitor in his room. Him and Morocco share a room. I get my own room because I'm the only girl.
Lucky you.
And I'm not even the oldest. Usually the oldest is the one that gets the own room.
But you just happen to be the female of the bunch.
Tell him to come.
That's because you own your own business. That's why you get your own room.
My room is just the room.
You a CEO, so that's why you get your own room. You a CEO.
My room is just the room.
I'm doing an interview, and everyone wants to see the whole family.
Room that used to be the bedroom, the baby room before Morocco.
Morocco.
Was born.
Morocco.
That Cuba back there.
Cuba back there.
I can't see him. He all back there in the cut. I can't even see him.
There he is.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Cuba.
Cuba, what's up, man? What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good.
You're so proper, man. I'm doing fine. You're so proper.
Polite.
Wow.
Polite. You guys,
It's all good though.
you guys
It's
are
all
like,
good.
you guys are like y'all have a ball when y'all go on vacation.
We do have fun, right, Cuba? You're the one who loves it the most, right? All of our travels.
I like it.
Yeah, I love it the most.
I like it.
Oh, is that right? Cuba, you like it the most. I got you.
Yeah, he's like this is like Speedy
home potato.
Gonzalez. He's got the most energy. This boy, he wakes up in the morning and he's moving.
Mom,
At night, he's moving like nonstop.
Excuse me. So you're just gonna leave out when we watch movies. Me and Dad are the only ones that stay awake, and then I wake up at 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. telling you to be my alarm clock, but you don't keep me awake.
You never stay awake for movies.
I know. I wake up early and I fall asleep early. If the movie is not starting at like 5 or 6 p.m., I'm done.
Hey, when we get older, we go to sleep early when we get older.
We gotta get that rest.
Gotta get that rest. It's important.
We'll see the movie whenever. We'll get back to the movie whenever. But you
Well,
got
good enough.
No, so,
Brandi, you have a beautiful family, and we really appreciate you for joining us this evening and everything. I always appreciate it when someone shares something that's intelligent and of value to our audience and everything. And you have definitely done that today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for all
much.
your wisdom.
Wow.
India, thank you for your wisdom, and I hope you inspire somebody else. I'm sure you will. I'm pretty sure you're probably doing it every day. You're inspiring me right now. Y'all have my mind going like that. So this is good stuff.
You have a wonderful, wonderful family. Thank you for sharing that with us. You're the first family that we've actually had on our show, so you're the first. So definitely thank you for sharing all your wisdom and your kids and I don't know, is your husband in there too? I don't want to leave him out.
Yeah, but he's working.
Oh,
No, he's
okay.
making
He's
pizza.
in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Leave him alone.
Talking about
Leave him
making
alone. He in the bathroom. Let him do.
Not mess with
On that note,
not mess with that man while he's in the bathroom.
and if he had the onesie, right? Well, if he had the onesie, he could have been.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. But again, thank you for joining us on the show, and go ahead, Baldwin, and take us out.
All
Thank
right.
you very much. Have a great night, guys. We really
Absolutely.
enjoyed speaking to
Absolutely.
you.
And like we always like to say, here at the Gentleman of Style Show, there is no excuse for good taste because we believe in better. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
GOS, the Gentleman of Style Show.